Hello! It's me! I'm here! Key, time for a meeting. I might be back. That sounds ominous. Key, good luck at the meeting. Thank you for being first today. I believe Key was first today. I was late. Key was here before me. My goodness. Who else we got here today? We got Taryn. We got Rai Rai. Rai Rai with 16-month subs. Why did I say it that way? 16 months of subs. Thank you so much for 16 months of subs. My sneaking in from work will be in person tomorrow. We look forward to it. Rai Rai also on a 10 stream streak. And Taryn on a 3 stream streak. Hells yes. Hells to the yes. On my way back to wherever my last streak got up to. Listen, I know the pain. I lost all of my streaks over the break. Except for my Ghost Pepper stream. It's kind of easy to be there for the streak if it's your husband. But I pretty much lost the rest of my streaks. I just, with family over, I just could not keep up with what other people were doing, so. Was trying to get my streak to count off before the meeting, since it looks like it might be a long one. Hey, hopefully you won't be in the meeting for too long and you can flash it when you get back. Please let me know. It is showing me that potentially slow mode is on. No, Saribot disabled slow mode, so that might just be OBS being interesting. But let me know if slow mode is on. I need to disable that. You would think so? Try telling that to Robot. Do you stream when he's working, though? Like, Ghost doesn't have a stream for me. I have a stream for Ghost, but Ghost doesn't have a stream for me because I stream while he's working. So Ghost is almost never here for my streams, except for in the summer, which makes me sad. Did not see slow mode. Good. Yeah, Ghost is the only one. I even lost my, I feel so bad, but I even lost my wolf streak over the break. So, this is the way of things with holidays. I kind of made peace with it in December. There were a few times where I was like, I know I'm gonna lose all my streaks, and then of course I did. He's working, but also Twitch isn't his thing. Fair. Fair. Oh my goodness. Welcome in, guys. It's Tuesday. It's the last week of January. How did we get here? I don't know. February starts this weekend, which is kind of unbelievable to me. But here we are, almost at the end of January, and it's just this week is like the first week where I feel like I'm on track. I'm hitting all of my regular routine stuff. I got my yoga back, I got my reading back, and January's over. I'm just starting to dig into the meat and potatoes of the work, and January's over, so here we go. In other exciting news, outline for book 2 goes well, trying to flesh out the bits that I need to enhance by coming up with a plan of attack. Hell yeah, Taryn! I know that you're gonna do fabulously. But also, good luck. Book 2s are a very different beast from book 1s. They need a bit of a different type of attention here and there. So the first couple book 2s are really challenging, and then as with book 1s, you eventually get to a point where you're familiar with switching between modes. I have been editing the 4th Celestial Serenade trilogy, so we're going to be working on that a bit tomorrow. And it's really interesting to go back, because I try to write my series all in one go. So that they're all right next to each other, and I don't have to like switch back and forth like I am doing with series. And it's been really interesting going back to a series that I had pretty much set aside as finished, reviving those characters, getting back into that headspace, getting a feel for the new things that I've sort of added since. It's been really interesting and nice, honestly. Because I really like those characters. And then also gearing up for later in the year, I'm going to be starting Beyond the Mirror, which is going to feature a new version of Damarin, a new old version of Damarin, since this version of Damarin we've kind of talked about before, split off from Aravalia Damarin prior to the events of the Aravalia Chronicles. So I'm basically taking him back to ground zero, back to where he was prior to all of the character development. Almost exactly the same on the page as the Damarin that we saw in Book 1 of the Aravalia Chronicles, but in a very vastly different situation. And of course, the goal is for him to develop differently, to end up being a slightly different person than the person that we've already experienced. He's definitely going to end up, because one of the main things is that his channeling skills are going to develop differently along the two different branches of the path. So he's definitely going to have a different skill set. He's definitely going to be dealing with kind of a much more intense, much darker situation than the one that we see in the Aravalia Chronicles. So I'm really excited about that, but I'm expecting it to be a challenge. Because I expect that there will be points along the way. Hey, Shadowbug, how's it going? I suspect that there'll be parts along the way where I'll want to reach for the Aravalia version of Damarin and have to be like, no, like, this Damarin hasn't experienced that. He doesn't have, you know, that character trait or that particular skill or that particular experience to speak to. And so it's a chance to explore different aspects of his character, different aspects of his history that didn't necessarily come up as much in the Aravalia Chronicles. But it'll be challenging. Having already written one direction with that character and then going in another direction, I'm expecting to be challenging. But those are kind of project goals for this year. Also, as you can see, we're working on Everyone's Child today, so we're finishing up the last book in that series, Everyone's Celestial Mother. Book 5 is with my betas right now, and so book 6 will go out near the end of this year. And after that, much more before the end of the year, we're going to start a new side project, which I'm calling Second Chance Specials. And the first book in that is called The Backwards Bar and Grill, and it is going to be set in the Celestial Serenade universe, so sort of ironic that I'm working on editing in the Celestial Serenade universe right now. It's going to be set in the Celestial Serenade universe. It's going to be set probably right after the second trilogy, the first ending for the series. It's going to feature cameos from some of the main characters from the series. They're definitely going to be background characters doing things in the world, but the main characters are going to be brand new, never before seen. And it's going to be one of those, like, instead of being the big heroes of the Empire, which is kind of what we saw in the like series, in the main series, these are going to be like the everyday people dealing with everyday problems. No worries, Shadowbug. I knew what you meant. How's it going? Alas, have to go pick up my kiddo. As always, if he lets me, I'll be back. Taryn, appreciate you. Good luck with the pickup. As I come up with ideas and getting pumped for this project. Hell yeah, that's exactly how you want to feel. So yeah, the main character of the Backwards Bar and Grill is sort of a wayward soul, if you will. Sort of a black sheep in her family, kind of ran away from the responsibility and the business ownership, because her parents are the owners of the Backwards Bar and Grill, hence the name of the book. And she sort of gets called back to help deal with a family crisis. And sort of it's that idea of the wayward child coming home, having to deal with all the problems they left behind, but in space. So I'm looking forward to that. To kind of give you guys an idea of what you can expect to see on the channel this year. So we will be doing edits for the first part of the year, big project edits, small project edits. We'll be doing edits probably right through till May, June. And in the area of April, May is when I'm hopefully going to be doing the outline for the first Beyond the Mirror book, which I just mentioned. And then in June, July, I'll be doing some late pass edits for the final Aravalia Chronicles trilogy. So that'll be going through some beta reader feedback and just rapid fire going through fixing everything that series needs to be just finally polished off. And then probably around the end of August, we'll be getting into this year's big writing project, just to give you some idea. My schedule follows pretty much the same structure every year, so that's pretty much what we'll be looking at. And then, of course, the smaller projects are scattered in between. We'll be continuing to work on My Little Domarin. We're going to work on that on Thursday, and we'll be wrapping up Everyone's Child and digging into the Backwards Bar and Grill. Faded Stardust, hello, how's it going? So there you go, just a brief look. I will, this is way far out notice, but I will be disappearing for 2 weeks in July. Because we were surprised with a cruise. Ghost Pepper's parents purchased for the family a cruise. So we will be going to Scotland. We will be going to, I believe it's Finland, and Greenland. Not Greenland, Iceland. The one that we want to go to, Iceland. The pretty one. So we're gonna be gone for 2 weeks. Obviously we won't be streaming because we'll be in the middle of the sea for part of that journey. So just a heads up that that'll be happening. But there you go. That's an idea of what to expect from me from this year. Faded Stardust, what's up? How's it going? Also, as you can see, I've been hanging out in Domarin's room here. Here on Spirit City. Although I may swap back to my room. You can hang out here still for a bit. I have been sort of buying up all of the... So I noticed that when you buy the wallpapers, it unlocks them for all of these 3 categories. So it unlocks them for the main walls, the side walls, and the wall borders. You don't have to buy them all 3 times, which is kind of nice. I've got everything from the ceiling down. I've got everything, so I'm kind of... Because I have a lot of spirit bucks, you guys, so I've just kind of been, like, slowly unlocking things. Going good, not sure if I'm actually going to write today, but I'm here for the vibes. Well, hell yeah, there's no obligation to write, of course. Vibing is always welcome. But I hope you're doing well. If you're not writing today, I hope it's because you don't want to write today and not because you feel like you can't, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I hope it's a break day rather than a I can't deal with this today day. Let's skip the super pixely ones. Come back to them, maybe? I guess I can just go straight down the line. Don't know that I personally would ever use these particular skins, but I have seen pictures of people using them, like, really well. It's really cool sometimes to just pop into the Discord, the Lo-Fi Sessions Discord, and just see what pictures people post of like their avatars and their rooms and stuff. Because people do combos that I would never think of, so. Like, there's backgrounds I've never even really looked at, because I'm like, I'm never gonna use that, but then I see people using it on the Discord, and I'm like, actually, that looks really good! Gosh, 2 o'clock, so we know what time it is. I have all of the skins for, the spirits, so I figure should spend some of this money on customization options, and then if I want to make a room, I've just got all the stuff. I don't have to buy it. I've had a lot of errands and appointments lately, just need a break today. Fair. Totally fair. Valwraith, hello! Good grief, my story is expanding again. Uh-oh. It doesn't sound like you're excited about the fact that it's expanding again. It sounds like this is I thought I had sorted it all out, but here it comes again, moment. I still have so much money. I wish there was a way that I could, like, select these and buy them in mass. Oh my gosh. I've seen people use the, tartans, in some really comfortable rooms. I think Wolf has the tartans, on his wall, which is super cool. I think Ghost Pepper has the ghosts. Spoopy. I've also seen some really good log cabin screenshots that people have done. It was supposed to be a 2-part short story, and now it's growing closer to a novel. Oh man, I feel that. I've done that so many times. Sometimes you can't contain the story. You just gotta let it tell itself. You just gotta let it become whatever it's gonna become, you know? I often feel like... because I like how people are like, you're in charge. You get to tell the story however you want. And I'm like, I'm not in charge. I'm a glorified secretary. I get told the story and I write it down. And that's it. I don't control how long it is. I ultimately usually don't control what happens in it really either. I'm just kind of along for the ride, you know? I'm writing it down so that other people get to experience it too. We're at the bottom. So many of those. Okay. And then I think I have a few at the top that I didn't buy because they were more expensive. I just realized the money is down there. I keep looking at my money up here, and the money's right there, like right in front of my freaking face. Astrid, hello, how's it going? And Shadowbug on a 3-stream streak. Hell yeah, let's go. I don't even bother trying to write short stories anymore. Listen, I'm with you. My male main character is in the military of his world, and I want him to have served a few deployments. Interesting. Been busy sorting through pennies, and I found a few wheat pennies, with the oldest being from 1929. That's super cool, Shadowbug. I used to, when I still lived, not the same as this, but when I still lived in the States, I used to collect the special state quarters. So when I was in high school, they, like, launched this collection of state quarters. Like, each state got to design its own special quarter. And I started collecting them, but then I moved to Canada. I moved to Canada in the middle of them printing them, so I'm missing a whole bunch of them. So there we go. So now we've got all of the wall stuff unlocked, and I just have to unlock the floors, I guess. Floors are the next thing that I need to unlock. I figure I have all these spirit bucks from the amount that I level up. I should use them occasionally. My stepfather has a 1943 steel penny. Nice! Y'all know what Brooklyn Nine-Nine is? Yes! I've been thinking about doing a comedy show similar to that with the members of the NYPD Magics Division. The comedy would come from the absurd supernatural crimes they have to deal with. That would be amazing! I love the premise for that. Like a Brooklyn Nine-Nine, but set in, like, a magical world. As a teen, he joined a military academy. I'm worried about the air quotes. And was later picked to become a member of the Knights of Terra, the Terran Protectorate's most elite military branch. They are only deployed when the fight absolutely has to be won. Dang, that sounds cool, Valwraith. So this is, I'm assuming, not a, like, Earth type... I shouldn't say Earth type world. It's not Earth, right? It's like a secondary world, I guess is what you would say. The first crime that came to mind was a shapeshifter committing identity fraud. It would be a lot easier to commit identity fraud if you could change the way you look. There is a character in the Aravalia Chronicles, I don't want to spoil too much, who does something similar, who is a shifter, and not necessarily a full shapeshifter, like she can't make herself look like anything. But she does have the ability to slightly alter her physical appearance using magic. So she has a lot of different identities that she utilizes for crime. I want to find a full set of Hawaiian bills from World War II. Would those be paper, Shadowbug? Shapeshifters are great at espionage, that is true. But then also, one thing... Hang on. Ooh, I just whacked my tooth. One thing as a result in the Aravalia Chronicles of shapeshifters doing that sort of thing, or being known for doing that sort of thing, is that they end up getting a reputation, an untrustworthy reputation. So there are some unfair racial biases in parts of the world that Aravalia occupies towards shifters for being untrustworthy and deceitful, even though not all shifters are. Hey, Mad Lad, how's it going? The main character of the series would be one of the NYPD head detectives in the Magic Division. Aubrey Astra, a rune magic user because of her Irish heritage. Nice! Are you gonna have a captain that says Bing Pot when he gets excited? That's Ghost Pepper's favorite thing from Brooklyn Nine-Nine is that the captain, who's very like deadpan, very serious, almost never jokes around about anything. Instead of saying like bingo, he says bing pot. So whenever he gets excited about finding something out, he's like, bing pot. But anyway, as a knight, he adheres to modified for the future chivalric code. I love that idea, Veilwraith! The idea of knights surviving to modern times but having to modify their code for the modern world. That sounds so cool. That sounds super cool. They were issued to the territory of Hawaii just in case the islands were invaded by the Japanese forces, and the U.S. government could issue any U.S. bills with Hawaii on them as non-legal U.S. currency. I see, I see. Well, I guess it is getting on towards that time of day when I should start thinking about actually getting some work done, because I assume that's what you guys are here for. So let me remind y'all that you can find redeems in the down below, where you can choose our spirit companion that we hang out with for the day. Well, for the sprint anyway. So our spirit companion that we hang out with, our activity that we do, or our location that we view through the windows. And for the location, you can also choose whether you want to be on the train or in a portion of the house, although we have to be able to do the activity in that portion of the house. Because all of the backgrounds are now, most of the backgrounds are now in both games. They don't have the Halloween ones in the train yet, so they don't have, like, the pumpkin swamp and the, like, castle... and that kind of stuff in the train, but we do have all of the train backgrounds in the house now. I know who, Rai. We will get you some Shadow the Hedgehog. Shadow the Hedgehog, hanging out with us today. After collecting the non-Hawaiian marked bills, those bills were burned to prevent the Japanese from getting a hold of any legal U.S. currency. Interesting. I'm assuming some of them still survived because people kept them. That's a good idea. I'm not sure. I'll probably come up with some sort of different phrase. Of course. I just think it's so funny. Every now and then, still today, because it's been, like... Because we watched Brooklyn Nine-Nine during the pandemic, so it's been, like, a good 3-4 years since we saw that show. And Ghost Pepper still, every now and then, will just be like, Bing Pot! The series is going to be in the same universe as my other story, Hex Squad, so there might be a bit of overlap. That's a great idea. I mean, I was just talking earlier about how I've got some spin-offs coming in my writing plan. So yeah, I'm probably going to go take a quick little break here and get set up for getting into edits. There probably won't be as much clicky clacking during editing. Vinyl, hello! How's it going, my dear? Lurking while watching Fallout with Kali and Shagraz. Are you in season 1 or season 2? We've only watched one episode of season 2 so far. But we liked it. We are just getting into season 2 and greatly enjoying it. It's funny because right now we're watching for movie nights, so every Sunday night. Season 2! Heck yeah, enjoy it. I won't be able to talk to you about it for a couple weeks, but enjoy it. For movie night on Sundays, we're digging into Fallout Season 2, and I'm currently reading Wool, which is the first book in the Silo series by Hugh Howey. Which they made a TV show based on as well. And I'm watching Gladlands on Dimension 20, which is also a post-apocalyptic setting. So I'm really deep in the post-apocalyptic genre right now. But because they burned the original bills, the citizens, soldiers, marines, and sailors just kept on using Hawaiian bills until after the war. I believe that they were replaced somewhere in the 50s. That sounds probably right. I love fully imagining more of my version of New York. One of the things that first came to mind when I was building out New York was a small little section kind of similar to Chinatown, but for fantasy races. I had a fun time doing something similar to that too, because the Arvalia Chronicles takes place in a modern world. And so I imagine the city more like London. If you've ever been to London, it's a huge city, but it's really interesting to walk through because it has really modern sections and really old sections. And so there's the original city of London, which is much smaller, because that's like where it was back in ye olde times, like what the limits of the city were. And then it's just kind of kept spiraling outward and outward as time goes on. And so it has these sections of the city where you have these really built up high rises where they've built completely modern buildings. And you can tell when you're going into a completely modern building because it's air conditioned. And it's like a completely different construction style versus these older buildings that have been updated and updated and updated over time to bring them into the modern era. And then you have these small pockets of where they've preserved what the city used to like look like. And I think it's actually in York, but there's a place called the Shambles, and I think it's in York, not in London. But it's basically a medieval alley, and so they've preserved the like facades of the buildings to look the way that they would have looked back in medieval times. And you can see how like they were uneven, they leaned toward each other. You can really get that sense of like a fantasy thief leaping from rooftop to rooftop when you're walking through the Shambles. And so it's really fascinating to walk through those sections of some cities in the UK and really just build up some inspiration for making my own like medieval modern city. So it's really fun to play around with that kind of stuff and be like, well, how would this work if there was magic? Or if we had slightly kept some of that stuff from the oldie times. I believe they did something like that in a Netflix movie. He played a LAPD who's assigned an orc for a partner. Oh, interesting. I have not heard of that. New York has stuff similar to that, but it's a bit more hidden. In the oldest structure in New York is, I believe, St. Patrick's Cathedral. I grew up in New England, so I was used to that kind of... I actually grew up about 5 hours south of New York City, so we had driven there several times when I was younger. But New England has that feel of, like, old history, and old buildings and preservation. But then when you go to the UK, it's just mind-blowing because everything is so much older, like thousands of years older, than anything that we have, even in like New England. So it's really fascinating to think about that stuff and think about what if we had kept some of those things into a modern era. And the Magi's Bride is also an anime where the Fae exist in secret beside the human world. My favorite thing I've learned about a European city is that there is a subway station in Rome that's been under construction since the 60s because they keep uncovering artifacts and have to pause. That happens a lot. There was a thing too in England where they wanted to, I think they were building a new shopping center. And they went to dig the parking lot and they uncovered a skeleton, like a full-on skeleton. And I think it was a royal skeleton too. So they were like, everything has to stop. There has to be a full investigation of the area. Like, they have to bring in the archaeologists. They have to get everything that's like historically valuable out of there. And you gotta wonder, like, in places like Rome and London, like, how do they ever build anything? It's not a surprise that they keep just modifying what they've already built, because if you want to build something new, it's a landmine of, like, dodging. Like, you got a lot of landmines to dodge, because if you break ground and there's anything remotely historical in that ground, you can't keep going. You can't keep going. Another one of my favorite parts of my version of New York is I've done kind of similar to Marvel, where they have the Daily Bugle, they have the Daily Oracle. So the Hex Squad crew has their own J. Jonah Jameson that's against them. Nice. Oh, that must be such a fun character to write. Yes, John. We found something again. It's crazy. Um, in that area too, like in Rome and Greece and that stuff too, there was a tendency in ancient days to build cities on top of the ruins of other cities, right? So sometimes there's just layers. The guy who actually found the ancient city of Troy um, very famously just bulldozed through a city that was sitting on top of it to get to the one that he was interested in, and ruined a lot of historical information and artifacts. So it's very dense, the amount of like information and history that's just packed on top of itself in that area. So I can only imagine what it's like trying to build there. He's very fun to write. His name is Jonathan Daly. He's a bit of a parody of overzealous podcast host, similar to Joe Rogan was. Nice. Yes, Pompeii. We visited Pompeii just a few years ago now, and that place has been under near constant excavation for almost 100 years. I believe there was a brief pause during World War II. There was damage done to the site during World War II. But it's been under almost constant excavation for almost a century, and they're still finding new things. They're still digging it out of the dirt. It's crazy. All right, I'm gonna take a quick break. It's 11:30. You guys, of course, continue to discuss all of these fascinating things. Don't let me needing to work stop you. But yes, I'm gonna take a quick cheeky break, pop AFK, use the restroom, reheat my coffee, all that good stuff. When we get back, we're gonna hang out with Shadow the Hedgelog, and if you would like to choose an activity or a location where we do that activity, please feel free to redeem those in the down below. Otherwise, I'll just go ahead and fill in with whatever. My crazy thing is they now believe the Jamestown colony didn't have a virus outbreak, but their wells were actually poisoned. Like, by someone in the colony? That's crazy. Do these children have any idea who's going to pay for the damages to the city? That's right! The taxpayers! Alright, guys, I'll be right back. Sorry about that, guys. I came out of the washroom, and what should I see scurrying across my dining room but a spider, so I had to deal with that. It's dead now. It's dead now. And here we are. I do not see... Back! He is back! Not spider friend? He weren't no friend of mine. Welcome back, Veil Wraith. Everyone's back just in time. You weren't no friend of mine, Key. Let's switch to my avatar, but let's stay hanging out in Domran's house. Let's go to the kitchen. And do some typing with our good friend Shadow the Hedgehog. Look, he's already set up. He's already set up as the default skin. Aw, he fits so perfectly in this kitchen. Look at that. Let's see. Do we want to keep... I guess we don't really want to keep this winter scene because you can't see out the windows very well. Let's see. Where do we want to hang out? We could try hanging out in this winter. Is that one a bit brighter? Oh, that looks nice. That looks kind of nice. I don't know that the lighting's gonna make a drastic amount of difference here. So I might just stay morning. Taryn's back as well! I want to do something with a human who's like a public defender for members of the supernatural community who keep getting blamed for crimes they didn't commit. Ooh, that sounds interesting. Krista Walsh, welcome in! Thanks for the raid! How's it going? We're just about to start our first sprinty sprint of the day. We're going to be doing 3 30-minute sprints with 15-minute breaks in between. Hopefully it's going to go well. We're about to dig in and get started. Meeting was short, so that went well. Also, cool new tech called headphones, earbuds, and a phone stand would have helped one of the attendees a lot. What? Were they, like, calling in from somewhere? Perfect timing, as a matter of fact. How was your stream, Krista? How did your writing go for today? I hope it went super well. I'm pumped. I just killed a spider. I can do anything. I'm terrified of spiders. If I can kill a spider, man, I can do anything. I'm old enough to remember when TV had really good cartoons on, even if they were reruns. Same. I first watched that movie, and that's where I got the idea, and originally Hexquad was going to be about a group of young teens that are in this band together, and the zombie apocalypse happens, and they have to fight through a horde of zombies with their music. Dang! Gives me, Gem vibes. Their cell phone fell over mid-call. Oh no! Spiders and me... If I see a spider outside, I'll walk around it. That's fine. Outside is spider territory. Inside is my territory, and if I see a spider in my territory, they can live down in the basement with Ghost Pepper. He's okay with that, but they cannot come up here. That is crossing the line. Angel Faye, how's it going? Really productive, editing, some drafting, some marketing. That sounds super productive, Krista. Well, thank you for dropping in and for bringing your community over here. I super appreciate that you trust me with them. Anyone who came in on the raid who doesn't know me, my name is Megan Cutler, aka Starborn Striker. I'm a sci-fi and fantasy writer. Author. I don't know why I said writer. I mean, same thing, I guess. Today, we're working on my high fantasy series, Everyone's Child, and we're doing edits on the final book, which is super exciting. And I'm about to dig into that, so I'm going to get super quiet. But anybody who came in on the raid who needs to do some self-care, grab yourself something to eat and or drink, get up, stretch, move around, do all the things. Remember to take care of this meat sack that you're driving around, and we're going to get into it. She did! I do not relocate them to the nearest window. I smushed them. I will relocate a bee. If a bee comes into the house, or a wasp just because they have a stinger, I will relocate them outside. Bees we like. Spiders, nuh-uh. Authors are Pokemon evolutions of writers. I love that! Scriblins, welcome in. Alright, guys, let's do the thing. And if you want to redeem a spirit companion, a location, or an activity for the next sprint after this one, you can go ahead and claim one of those in the redeem section at any time. But for now, I'm going to get quiet. I have to start I have a personal timer that I use to calculate my editing. I'm going to start that. I'm going to start this timer, and we're going to do the thing. Spiders are creepy, and I'm scared of them. So they're not cool to me, unless it's a daddy longlegs. The only spiders I can abide are daddy longlegs. We don't get those here, though. Hang on. I know we literally just started the timer, but I forgot to make my custom dictionary for this. So we have to do one real quick thing here before we begin. Otherwise, I'm gonna drive myself absolutely insane. And that is to very quickly throw together a custom dictionary for this project. Because there are about 3 million names in this, and I will never be able to remember how to spell them all. Might be able to get away with that one. I was like, why is it marking this wrong? I'm pretty sure I spelled it right. And of course I meant to make these yesterday, and I totally forgot. I've basically been rebuilding all of my custom dictionaries as I go, so... And of course, a bunch of these characters have last names, so that's fun. I keep a list of all of my characters. So I'm just going to rapid fire down the list here. Oops. Joe, how's it going? I see you sliding in there. Oops. Typing too fast. Okay. And then we've got these names. I feel like there's an inordinate amount of names in this series, but there's 6 books worth of names, and that's why there's so many. I don't think this character is even alive anymore, but we'll put their name in here just in caseies. Joe, how's it going? Okay, and then I think I need this character. Okay, and I just need our places now here, quick. It's a rough one to get saddled with. You die in a book, then get dropped from the dictionary. I put her in the dictionary, even though I'm pretty sure she's dead. Listen. They might reference her. I don't know. Some of these places are not mentioned in this book. Might be mentioned in other books. So... feels like it's taking literally fucking forever. I think this might be the most concentrated number of names for any of my projects. It's because it's a book 6. I don't need to necessarily... Ugh, I've been adding all of these, but I don't necessarily need to add all of them. I'm missing one. I'm missing one I know I need, but I don't think I ever made a... page for her? There it is. This is the proper spelling of her name. Okay, we're ready for realsies this time. I've added all of these names to the dictionary. We're good to go. I know how to spell them now because the computer will spell them for me. Taryn, take care. Thanks for dropping by. You don't know if one of your characters is dead or not? I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. She was a minor-ish character. It's not like she was a main character. Wait, did I already kill you off last book? I actually think I did kill her off in the last book, but she might get mentioned in this book, so I put her in the dictionary. You let a spider live above your bed for a year. Not me, man. Not me. It's a no from me. Sardinisms! Hello! I mean, we're just about to start the first sprint. As you can see, time has been frozen so that a dictionary could be made. I'm still off work because I'm in Bizarro World and need a doctor's note to go back to work. Oh, interesting. I mean, I guess that makes sense. Key let a spider live above their bed. Not me. I killed a spider during the break. Is dead now. Alright. For realsies this time, I'm gonna unleash the clock. Now that I know how to spell my characters' names again. It's all good. I remember how to spell names now. It's being processed as short-term disability. I need a doctor to say I'm no longer too disabled to work. That makes sense. Also, I mean, given the kind of surgery you have, I imagine they want to check up on you a couple times before they're like, okay, yeah, go back to the regular day-to-day. Because I killed a spider? Or because I remember how to spell my characters' names? Joe, that spider was between me and coffee, and I had to get to the coffee, so he had to die. Doing fine. Have no more appointments scheduled until an MRI in March to make sure there's still nothing there. Well, good luck. Fingers crossed. Sardonisms. I hope that this is the end of that particular saga. Since the doc didn't call me back, I made cookies, and they're delicious. What kind of cookies? Angel Faye, thank you so much for dropping in. Get some good rest, and I hope you're doing well. Chocolate chip, heck yeah, the family recipe of an old teacher of mine. And it's called Mental Health Cookies for Days That End in Y. Perfect. Welcome back, Astrid! kids are asleep. How's it going? Pie's here. What interrupted a 200 gigabyte file move? Pi's arrival? All right. I am hitting that save button numerous times. Finally got through that first sprint. Oh boy, but I'm glad I took the time to do those custom dictionaries. There are so many names in this game. In this manuscript, one of the things about doing a secondary world is always that you have to name a lot of things. You have to name a lot of things, and then you gotta try to remember those names. And I'm not good with names. I don't know if you guys have noticed. When's the game getting released? The book will be released later this year. Game was a misspeak. Pi, how's it going? I'm gonna save those hydrates because we are about to take a quick break, and I will do them when I get back with hot coffee. What interrupted this 200 gigabyte file move? I'm so curious. Earlier I was talking about my version of New York. Another landmark is Spear Headquarters, which I've decided looks like a normal office complex on the outside, but when you go inside, it's bigger. Heck yeah. It's working on a copy edit for someone's story before I pivot back to my next novel. Hell yeah, I hope it's going well. I always like doing edits for other people. It helps me learn about my own work as well, but also it helps them, and I enjoy helping people. Lost about 20 network nodes due to a network switch locking up. Doing some mop-up work. Oh, that's what interrupted the 200 gigabyte file move. Oh no. Well, I'm assuming you had to start that over. Since the... Ooh, I read that. Joe's proud of me for killing a spider. After I figure out the 3 deployments my mailman character went on in the Nights, I will restart the story in Scrivener's novel format. So is this going to be major rewrites then, Veilwraith? Oh my god, the disrespect. Listen! There's a lot of characters in this novel. I can't keep track of who all died. Looks like my mainland character has been through 3 deployments of the Nights, and I need some epic battle names. Good luck. I use name generators for that. Also, Scriblins, how's it going? What you up to? Are you working on something today? What we doing? What we chilling? I'm also getting paid to do this for a magazine. Hey, getting paid to do copy edits is the best. Pi, I hate it when you redeem this because then you're gonna yell at me for being mean to you, and you're making me do this. Alright, Pi. Fuck you, Pi, and shut up! There, I did it! Are you happy? I am gonna pause the timer and you had it like typed in. You had it typed in and ready. I'm going to pause the timer and take a quick break. If you would like to redeem a spirit companion, an activity, or a location for the next sprint, please do. We're hanging out in Domran's kitchen at the moment, but we can move elsewhere onto other things. And do some activities with another companion if we'd like. So get those redeems in if you'd like. I've got 1, 2, 3 hydrates in the queue for when we get back with fresh hot coffee. I'm hitting that save button again, even though I've already hit it about 4 times. Joe says I never lie. Well, that's a lie right there. So thanks for that. Pie is amazing though. That's not a lie. Joe does not always tell the truth, but pie is amazing, and that is the truth. That is also a lie that you're almost out of channel points, because I'm sure that you are not almost out of channel points. There's a structure in New York City that looks like office buildings, but are actually ventilation systems or electrical substations for the city and subway tunnels through Manhattan. Oh, interesting. I know that they need to pump the subway tunnels a lot to keep the water out. Yeah, 12k points isn't poor, Pie. Alright, I will pause the timer while I pop AFK. Don't forget to get up, stretch, move around, grab something to eat and or drink. Take your meds if you need to. Check that you've done that. If you need to, check on the stuff. Check in with yourself. When was the last time you ate? When was the last time you sippy sipped? When was the last time you stretched? Try some of those things now, and I will be right back. your turn. Pie, you don't need to redeem the say the thing again. I already said it. Save those points for hydrates. Oh my goodness. Alright, I promised 3 hydrates when we get back. A 1. A 2. And a 3. 3 licks to the Tootsie Roll center of the Tootsie Pop. Open something here quick. Utterly failed at keeping time today, but that's fine. Calculations. Calculations complete. There's a background that looks like a castle from the kitchen. Yes, I know which one. Do you want to keep hanging out in Domran's kitchen, or do you want to head back to my kitchen? That is... this one. Castle! And we don't get experience in decor, we get them in there. Pickles, who I still have set as my kitty cat. Heck yeah. Let's hang out in Domran's kitchen. I don't know why, but I've been hanging out in Domran's space a lot. Stealing Domran's space. Feels nice. He's got this nice rainbow mug. Anytime I look at something like this, in Domran's world, things are practical, right? Everything's built for practicality. So he will just buy the simplest, most straightforward version of things. This man slept on a mattress on the floor for probably many years, or maybe months, until his friends came into his apartment. It depends on how long it took them to visit his apartment and be like, you don't have a bed frame, you're sleeping on a floor mattress. And he was like, yeah. And they were like, okay, we're getting you a bed frame. So I imagine when it comes to, I have this stupid amount of lore for these little things, but I imagine when it comes to Domran having a rainbow mug, it was like he was just drinking out of whatever solid color, plain Jane cheap mug he got out of the discount bin, and then his friends bought him a rainbow mug, and he was like, oh, that's very nice of you, and then he'll use it. If someone gives him a thing, he'll use it. He does, like, things having sentimental value is, like, a thing for him. Like, he will assign sentimental value to things that are given to him and cherish gifts and stuff. But for himself, he doesn't buy anything that's not, like, ultra practical. So if someone was like, oh, look at this cute rainbow mug, you should buy it for yourself, he would just be like, why? But if they bought it and handed it to him and were like, here, I bought you this cute rainbow mug, he'd be like, oh, that's really sweet of you. I'll use it every day. Uh, so there's a free lore drop on Domarin for you. It reminds me of my General Yarrick, except his home ended up full of stuff having meaning to the person who did it for him. Aww. Joe says big same about yourself. Um, my love language has always been like finding gifts that people will like and giving gifts to people. So one time, my lovely husband Ghost Pepper, when he was very young, his parents took him to, I think he was like, I don't know, maybe 10. His parents took him to Disney, and they have a picture of him kneeling beneath the AT-AT in the Star Wars area. And it just so happened by sheer like coincidence that when we were on our honeymoon, I took a very similar picture. Ghost Pepper kneeled under the AT-AT, and I took a picture of him. And it just so happened that like we were going through old photos that his mom had like sent with us, and I realized that we had essentially retaken that photo, uh, 10 years later. So I uh, went to a photo store and I got them really nicely framed, one on top of the other, and I gave it to her for a Christmas present. And I think it's the best present I've ever given her, and she cried because she loved it so much. And I was like, yes, I have done the thing. I have expressed my love for a person. And that's my favorite thing to do. I think it was our 11th wedding anniversary, I gave Ghost Pepper a book called 10 Magnificent Maps. And it was rare and unusual maps from around the world and history. And I was like, yes, perfect present, go. Ghost Pepper's really hard to do gifts for now because he also is such a practical person. Like Domarin, it's like if you point out something that he might need, he'll be like, but why though? I actually have this other thing that does it less good. But I love to do stuff like that for people. And it's funny because Domarin is that kind of person too. He loves to find things that will be meaningful to another person and just give them like the perfect gift or the perfect experience or whatever. But then when people suggest things to him, he's just like, why though? Why do I need a bed frame? I can sleep on a mattress on a floor. And people are like, no, listen, it's bad for you to do that. And he's like, but it's functional. The mattress functions on the floor. And that was when his friends were like, okay, we're just gonna buy him a bed frame and then he has to use it. Listen, Domarin would do something like that. I feel like it's funny because I feel like a lot of Domarin's first apartment was like when we moved. I'm gonna pause the timer because this is a bit of a slightly longer story. When we moved into our first apartment, a lot of what we took with us furniture wise was what I think of as inherited furniture. So it was like family members had gone through like their possessions in recent days and gotten rid of things they didn't want. So like a portion of a sectional that my grandmother was getting rid of, or a chair, or she gave us this really nice octagonal table that had like storage under it that I remembered from when I was a kid, and she was like, I'm getting rid of it, and I was like, I'll take it. I'm getting married. I have an apartment to fill. And it was stuff like that where it was like, it was my bedroom furniture, it was Ghost Pepper's bedroom furniture, and then it was a bunch of like mishmash of things that people were throwing away. So it's like someone would give us a couch and someone would give us this thing, and then we had to like buy, so we had like our first furniture was things that we couldn't inherit from other people, like computer desks. And actually our first computer desk was inherited from Ghost Pepper's family. They just gave us one. But then later, like, we bought computer desks, we bought a dining room table, which we only just recently replaced the first dining room table we bought after we got married. And so I tend to think of, like, Domran's first apartment being a lot like that. Peter, hello! A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Peter. All caps on the screen. So I imagine that Domran's first apartment was a lot like that too. Like, inherited furniture. Like, his friends were like, oh, you need a couch. Here, we're getting rid of this. Just have it. And he just kept those things because to him, he's like, it's functional. I have a couch. It's functional. I don't need to buy a new one. And then he moved in with his boyfriend, and his boyfriend was like, we need a couch. And Domran's like, we have 2 couches. And his boyfriend is like, no, we need a couch that's ours, and that's new, and that isn't, like, from Ryland's garage. And then Domran's like, okay, I don't understand that need, but you said it, so I guess we'll do it. I made my first desk out of some plywood and melamine board and steel eye brackets. Nice! Yeah, there was a lot of, you know, when we were younger, it was a lot of repurposing. I mean, I feel like this is a rite of passage. You move out of your parents' place, you take with you, like, we basically took with us our furniture that had been ours as teenagers, and what we got as gifts for our wedding. So, like, everybody knew that I was 18 when I got married, so everyone was like, they're young, they're going into their first place, so we got pots and pans and towels and, like, all those things that you need to buy when you first move out on your own because you're not using the stuff in your parents' house anymore. And so I feel like it's a kind of a rite of passage that, like, your first set of furniture is gonna be whatever is cobbled together from what's available in your vicinity, and then as you go on through life, you acquire the stuff that you actually want. And it's very funny because every desk I've ever had, like every desk, like working desk I've ever had, I've sort of gotten from somebody else. So when we moved into our first house in Quebec, the previous owners had just left this beautiful, giant, magnificent desk, this magnificent corner desk. And I was like, that's mine now. I'm taking that. I want it. And so that came with us all the way out here, even to this house. And then when we moved into this house, I was like, okay, I need something bigger. And then our friends, Tom and Kim, were like, well, we have a desk that we're getting rid of. And they sent me this gorgeous thing, which you can kind of see I'm at now. So here's one end of it, which is where all of you guys are. And then there's the corner bit over there where my computer is. There's Langdale, and then the storage, and then there's some drawers down underneath. And they were like, hey, we're getting rid of this desk. Do you want it? And I was like, if I buy a desk like this, it's going to cost me like $1,000. So yeah, I'd love it. I know I'd pause the timer so that we can get into the next part of the sprint, but I just thought that was an interesting little anecdote. Episode 4, a new thing to whine about. A few weeks ago, I got my first ever mirror for my hall, partly because I hated the idea of seeing myself, but partly because grown-ups have mirrors. We have very few mirrors in our house, Peter, so I get that. How are you today, Peter? How's it going? What is up? We're about to go into our second sprinty spront here. So I'm about to get quiet. It's funny how quickly the acquisition of random new furniture can happen. Yeah. I've always appreciated, too, when friends are like, because there's nothing wrong with this desk. They weren't getting rid of this desk because there's anything wrong with it. They just needed a different thing. And this is perfect for me. It's exactly what I needed. So, like, never underestimate the power of secondhand furniture. But you will get to a point in your life where you want to buy something very specific. I also have this beautiful shelf over here that we just bought for me, which is for my craft stuff. You can see the octopus down there. And up here, up at the very top, there's Joe's Glizzy guy and Gengar's waiting to be finished. Because I needed a break from that boy. All right, let's get into our second sprint. I've talked too long. We're running behind. Stream's gonna go late. Like a microwave that can house 72 glizzies at a time. Do you have one of those, Joe? A 72 capacity glizzy microwave? Is that a thing that you have? I wouldn't be surprised. Ocelot, hello, welcome in. Honestly, we're only in our second sprint, so we're here for at least another hour. You're good. Gonna climb out of the duvet and do a few things. Listen, I bet that duvet is warm and comfortable, but we are happy to have you either way. And a 65 stream streak for Peter. Hell yeah. It chose like a 72 capacity glizzy microwave, which I don't have because I don't have a microwave. Time to make big soup. Key. What kind of soup? And also enjoy. Ocelot, how have you been? Ham soup? Hell yeah. I make a ham and corn chowder that I really enjoy. Had a bit of a tricky day, but I've done my best and I'm proud of what I've been able to do. Ocelot, I'm proud of you as well. And it sounds like you've done some resting and some self care, and that's also extremely important. And we're happy to have you here, whether or not you're working today. Mad Lad, cheers with 2 hydrates. A 1 and a 2. Ocelot, we're always happy to see you. We're always happy to see everyone who's here in the chat today. Peter, did you say how it's going? Did you say how it's going today, Peter? Today's sleeping. I had my first ever Tai Chi lesson. Ooh, that sounds fun. My shoulders know something has happened, but they don't know what. All they know is they hurt now. Hey, over time, you will get used to it, and they won't hurt as much. When we went to the Burger and Curl, some of the other participants warned me that the sweeping, so when you curl, you sweep the ice to make the stones move farther, but also to control like where they go and the speed at which they move. And they warned me that the sweeping was gonna make my arms hurt because they're like, even though it's a familiar motion, you're using it differently. And it really did. For the first couple days after we did the curling, my shoulders really were just like so unhappy. Need to find some new rom-coms that are really good, like new to you or like newly filmed. No, hey, that character is dead. And her name is in this thing, so it's a good thing I added it to the dictionary. Hey, Jess. Cheers. How's it going? Have you guys finished settling into the new place? Trying to find some rom-dom non-com from Sing Song Ding Dong Ping Pong. That does sound hard. Man, I need to pick your brain about K-dramas, Key. I need to know which ones to actually watch. that is the timer ticking over. We are right on track for finishing up this second scene that I am editing during the next sprint. Huzzah. Sorry I typed that and then realized I didn't have a drink. I assume you have one now though, Jess. It's getting settled slowly but surely. The most recent ones. Oh, that's a different person working on the cat area today and tomorrow. It's like, oh, this doesn't seem like it goes with the last thing. That's because someone else wrote it. Good luck, Jess. I know what it's like to move in and settle into a place and how slow it goes. So hopefully it's steady progress and it feels a little more like home every day. The most recent ones I've read are very spicy. Ooh, K-dramas? I need to be introduced to the wonderful world of K-dramas. I've noticed that more and more of them are like coming onto Disney Plus and Prime. And I keep being like, should I watch some of these? Are these the good ones though? Or are they just like the ones that are getting licensed? Do you have one now? Heck yeah. No, spicy rom-com books. Ooh, just as good. Character 1, I have a proposal. Character 2, what kind of proposal? Character 1, business credits. And then they smash through the credits and make out, right? Can I actually try to work during the last sprint instead of just reading this very cheesy Danmei that's taking forever to get to the Mpreg? Wait, they still haven't... I seem to remember last week you said they still hadn't gotten to the Mpreg of it all, so they still haven't gotten there? Oh, half a week later? Too long. Too long, flips tables. So, Key, where do you watch your K-dramas? Do you have, like, a site online that you view them from? I keep switching books. I haven't finished reading anything in 2 weeks. I see. I was like, why are they taking so long to get to the part Sardonisms wants? Netflix. Oh, interesting. Netflix, the one subscription that we don't have. How long is it, Veil Wraith? If it's longer than like a couple of lines, you'll probably have to post it on the Discord because there's a limit to what you can post in Twitch. But there is a section of the Discord where you can post snippets and looking for feedback. Literally the only reason I have Netflix. That's funny. I think the one I was talking about Thursday... Less than a Twitch character limit? Yeah, as long as it's not going to fill up the whole chat, Veil Wraith. I don't mind, like, a couple of sentences, but if it's going to fill up the whole chat, then it would be best posted in the Discord. I think the one I was talking about Thursday was the one that did get to the Mpreg, very dramatically. Okay, good. Forgiven, then. Tables unflipped. Tables gently reflipped in the proper direction. I'm gonna wait and see if Veil Wraith's lines come up before we do the break, because I'm about to go take a break and do one last refresh of the coffee, one last run to the washroom, one last stretch. We'll stick it on the Discord. Heck yeah, let me know when it's posted, Veil Wraith. I'll pop over and peek. But we're gonna do our final break. Gonna pop AFK, like I said. If you want to get in a companion, a location, or an activity for the final sprint, now's the time. Go down to the down below and redeem what you'd like us to do in the game for the final sprint. I might switch back to my room. I've been hanging out in Domrin's room a lot. Might switch back to my room. We'll see. The room's getting washed AF. Absolutely. Jess would also like you guys to get snacks during this break. Snacks for everybody. Get your snacks. I need to finish my final Sprinty Spront so that I do some eating, some lunch eating. I'm just heading to the... There we go. Alex fell with the knights onto the breaking of Uh, is that Nexion? I'm gonna say all the names wrong. I'm so sorry. Alex fell with the knights onto the breaking of Nexion. He served with his brothers and sisters in the siege of Phaera and had been deployed at the reclaiming of Zenithia. These are such cool names, but the nerves he had felt before those campaigns paled to how he felt now as he walked to the stage where the ceremony of bonding would be held. Very cool, I like. What's the ceremony of bonding? What happens to at the ceremony of bonding? Is he bonding with the company? Is he bonding with a being? Have a sweet and sour chicken steamer. You know, if I had that in my house, I would. If that was an option, I would have it. There's no microwave spirit companion, Joe. He's getting married. Fuck me. Now I have to think of which of these companions is like a microwave. I don't even know which one of these could be remotely like a microwave. We've got a toaster, Joe. Is a toaster okay with you? Would you be okay with a toaster? I guess we'll have to go with a toaster. Because that's what we've got. We don't have a microwave, but we have a toaster. How's a toaster? Can I interest you in a toaster? A toaster is about as close as we're gonna get. It's fine, I don't know how they sound either. Well, there we go. I test piloted a few of those names for you. If I said them at all correctly, then you know what they sound like now. If I said them wrong, I'm so sorry. But Toaster does have mittens. He has little oven middies. Alright, I'm gonna take that pause. I'm gonna get up and stretch, because we had a stretch redeem. You guys don't forget to get up, stretch, move around, grab yourself something to eat and or drink. Snacks for everybody as redeemed by Jess. And we'll be right back for that final sprint. here. We've got a toaster to hang out with. I wrote that scene start just before I'm moving the story over to Scrivener's novel format on an official level. Heck yeah, Valwraith. Have you used Scrivener before? Is this your first time? I don't use it myself, but I've heard many good things from other people. Let's get the timer going again. Let's see. Let's go back to my house. And let's see. Let's go hang out at the fireplace. I don't see any redeems other than the microwave redeems. So let's go hang out at the fireplace. We can do some sipping. We can do some sipping with our toaster. And let's see. Where do we want to hang out? Where do we want to hang out? Let's have some winter. There we go. Nice and cozy. You can sit in the window seat. It is one of the places where you can sit. You can type there. Well, I mean, I can show you. You can do, so bay window activities. You got typing, you got reading, you got meditating. Oh my god! Look at how cute maybe we should meditate. I changed my mind. Look at how fucking cute he is! Look at how cute he is! You can do looking. You can do knitting. You can do stretching. And you can do cleaning. But look at this! Look at him! Too cute! Alright, well there we go. Joe inadvertently gave us the most cutest redeem out of, out of all the options. Take that, Joe. Take that. I've had Scrivener since version 1 came to Windows. Oh, nice! So you use it quite a lot then, I'm assuming. Misfit gave Misfit celery and peanut butter. Did you put some raisins on, Key, did you put some ants on those logs? Did you put some ants on those logs? Did you put some raisins or some chocolate or something on ants on a log? Asking for a friend. She was happy. I'm happy that she's happy. You just gave her logs without any ants? How could you? Now I'm reminded of the song Sipping on Orphan Tears. I don't know if I'm familiar with that song. That would be too much sugar. Even just raisins? It's a healthy snack. Ants on a log is a healthy snack, right? They gave it to us all the time when we were kids in grade school, and they told us it was healthy. Did they lie? Were they lying to us? Are ants on a log not healthy? Have I been lied to? Have I been lied to my whole life? Have I been lied to? Why am I not shocked? Why am I not at all shocked? It's funny, actually, the food pyramid and, like, how many, like, helpings of things you're supposed to have has changed a lot since I was in grade school, too. Like, pretty much everything that I was taught about the food pyramid, not everything, but a lot of what I was taught about the food pyramid in like, elementary school is considered to be outdated now. Because we have a more nuanced understanding of how food and feeding yourself works. School food is mostly bad. Listen, I'm talking about parents would bring in healthy snacks for the kids and they would bring us ants on a log. Were those not healthy snacks? Were those not healthy snacks? I'm talking like second grade here. That's even worse. Oh, listen. I went to school before the whole peanut butter being banned from schools thing. uh, when I... Aw, thank you for clipping that, Ocelot. When I was in school, you could just eat peanuts and peanut butter in, like, elementary school. They started doing the, like, bans on that kind of stuff. I think I was out of school by the time most of the places where I grew up started banning that stuff. But that wasn't a thing. Ants on a log was what led to people being overweight? No, I know you mean the food pyramid, but I'm just like, ants on a log are to blame for everything. In the UK, parents used to and still do bring their kids to McDonald's for lunch because everyone was angry at Jamie Oliver. That sounds awful. McDonald's specifically has a thing where it disallows parents to order to schools. I mean, who would take their kid, like, every day? Like a McDonald's lunch every day? That sounds awful. I was always taught that, like, eating out and especially fast food and stuff is like treats to do every now and then. And Ghost and I kind of still treat it that same way. Like, we have a meal plan, we cook homemade food. Tonight we're having leftover chili that I made on Sunday. And then Thursday we're gonna have more leftover chili that I made on Sunday because I build leftovers into my meal plans. But, like, we'll sometimes go out, like, maybe once a month. If things have gone really chaotic, like when Ghost Pepper had to run to the emergency room, we ordered meals a couple days because it was like, okay, it's been chaos, it's been crazy, we need to just cut something out of the... But I can't imagine doing that every day for your kid. That's awful. McDonald's is just too expensive anyway. It is. Nowadays it is. In Scotland, kids buy chippy lunches. Is that like fish and chips? I watch parents line up nearly 2 hours early to pick up their kids. Like, why? For McDonald's, you mean? I can't imagine. We're heading into the final sprint here, which reminds me, I forgot about this all last week. We have a final sprint button. I forgot about it last week. This is going to be our final sprint. So I'm going to get quiet here in a second and switch over. But you guys can keep talking about this mind-blowing people just shoving McDonald's down their kids' throats, apparently. They have nothing better to do. I meant to get them from school. I thought you meant to, like, take them to McDonald's for lunch and then, like, race them back to school. And I was like, that's insane. That's actually insane. Fish and chips... Again, I can't imagine eating that every day. Like, once a week, even that's bad. But, like, once a week, maybe. But every day? It's unfortunate, but sipping on Orphan Tears didn't age well because it references Bill Cosby. Oh, no. Whoops. Whoops if I hit the right button. There's a place downtown here that does smash burgers and crinkle fries. And I don't usually like crinkle cut fries because they're usually soggy. Like, they usually just do not fry well. But this place makes the best crinkle cut fries. Like, they're crunchy on the outside, they're soft on the inside. It's perfect. It's amazing. Tangent Turner, hello, welcome in. This has been such a productive Good Vibes work session. I'm happy I stumbled onto the writing stream on a whim. Scriblins, we're happy to have you. Thank you so much for sticking around and enjoying the vibes. I found out what smash burgers are recently. They're like deconstructed burgers. They're like really thin. So it's like you do the patty and then they like smash it down onto the pan so that it ends up really thin. And then you'll sometimes get them, so like I get a double smash burger, so it's 2 patties, but it's really thin patties, so it's like the size of one regular patty, but it has that like nice charring from the pan on there twice. The big ball of meat that's smashed on the grill, pretty much. Have you ever had Five Guys? We do not have Five Guys here. I think we've had something similar, but I don't think we have a Five Guys. Smash burgers make so much more sense because you don't have to unhinge your jaw, right? And I like that char. Like, I really like the char of the burger gets from the grill. That's one of my favorite part. Super excited for this weekend. We're gonna see The Lion King! Heck yeah, and a friend got us a hotel room as an early anniversary present. Jess, that's awesome! How I want a smash burger. Even though we just had them last night. Ghost made homemade smash burgers last night. Did G Peps make his burgers on Monday? We were promised burgers on Monday. Yes. Yesterday was Monday and we had burgers. I like unhinging my jaw. It appeases the part of me that wants to be a snake. There is a place in town. I don't know if it's a Five Guys like offshoot because it's not called Five Guys. I think it's Fat Burger actually. But I think it's very similar. We get one bag of fries and we split it between us. I love a Five Guys. I get the grilled cheese and there's a variety of free fillings. So I get pickles and mushrooms. Ooh, that sounds interesting. They like take the potatoes, wash them, then slice them into fries before putting them through a resin before putting them into the fryers. Interesting. Deleted a few files, sent a scary email. Ocelot, you're doing the stuff. I'm proud of you. Sometimes I send emails and forget what tone is, then read it back and realize how cold I came off. Listen, text doesn't come with a voice filter. Cheers, Mad Lad. I shall do a second hydrate since there are two redeemed. getting set up to start writing after work, trying to find some chill vibe music that sets the tone. Tangent Turner, have you heard of Lo-Fi Sessions Spirit City? That's what we are listening to right now. Lots of cool lo-fi music included in the game, although it does cost money, I should say. So not trying to be a walking ad for the game or anything, but I guess I should mention that up front. Imagine being like Megan and never making typos. I make typos all the time. I think ScotRail, the company that runs the trains in Scotland, has banned me on TikTok because I kept pointing out how impossible their videos were. What do you mean impossible? I reread them 10 times and then after find loads of typos too. I do that with every message I send. Frankly. Frankly. They filmed one video in Glasgow Central that had a train passing through it. The problem is, where they filmed that video, a train physically couldn't do that. Well, how did they film it then? Was it like AI generated or something? Why would they do that? Also, Auburn's Rose, I missed the announcement when you followed. Welcome in. Thank you for the follow. They edited the train in, but they put it in a wrong spot? Also, Scriblins, thank you for the follow. I don't know how I missed those. I hope my alerts popped up. I must have been focusing really hard, but thank you so much, both of you, for the follow. Trains are just a lie. The trains are a lie. That is the timer done, and that is this scene done. Please say hi, Rorschach. She's sitting on my lap, purring up a storm. Hey, Rorschach. Have some scritches. Have some scritches. Digital scritchy scratches. Peter out here doing God's work. Gotta run. It was lovely hanging out. Scriblins, hope to see you again soon. Please take care. Nice meeting you. We also had a video of a lass walking through an area in George Square. Problem is, George Square has been torn apart for 8 months and you can't get into it. So I pointed that out as well. And they were just like, screw this guy who actually knows this place. We're turning that off. I gave her physical scritchy scratches. Aw, heck yeah. Thanks, Sardonism. So now it seems like the relationship between my MC is destiny. Nice. How dare he know what's doing? Trains are alive, just like birds. Did I miss anything else? I think I got most of it. I got most of it during the sprint. I paid more attention during that sprint than I usually do because I knew we were going to have to wrap upstream relatively quickly. So let me... Animations are going to freeze for just one moment here while I open Firefox. Let me see who is about so that we can end the stream. Comf is on. Comf is on. This is not a drill. This is not a drill. Comf is streaming. I don't care if Comf is possibly near the end of stream. We're doing it. We're going. 4 of 8. No task is too small. Halfway through. We're doing it. I almost never see Comf online anymore. We're doing it. Ghost is streaming tonight, so this is where I remind you that this is it for me today, but I will be back tomorrow, again, at 10:30 a.m. PST. I'll try to be a little bit more prompt. I was a bit late this morning. 10:30 a.m. PST tomorrow, and again on Thursday. I will be working on edits of the Celestial Serenade tomorrow, and on Thursday we'll be writing the next installment of My Little Domarin, so those things you have to look forward to. Heck yeah. If you want more of me elsewhere, Ghost Pepper will be streaming tonight on his channel, GH0st Pepper, P-E-P-P-R. There's no second E at the end there, of course. He will probably be doing some model building tonight, and I will be on voice with him while I work on the octopus some more. Also, if you want even more of me than you can get during the week, I will be over on It's Wolf's channel Saturday night at 7:30 p.m. PST for Cozy Chaos. Last week we went full crazy, so who knows what's going to happen this week. So those are the places where you can find me. No questions asked. We will be rating Comf. Comf is an amazing co-working streamer. We used to raid her all the time, but her schedule has drastically changed when she is streaming and when she is not. So seeing Comf online, massive boon. Can't wait to go hang out. One of the comfiest, coziest, nicest streamers I've ever met, Comf. So we're going to go over there and hang out. So yeah, you can find me tomorrow, you can find me Thursday here on my channel, you can find me tonight over on Ghost Pepper's channel, you can find me on Wolf's channel on Saturday nights, and thank you guys for hanging out. We met so many new people today, we had so many new contributions and just wonderful vibes in chat. You guys are great. Just thank you for hanging out, thank you for being patient when I'm late to the stream. And for just sharing my work time with me. Don't forget to take care of yourself, eat, sleep, drink, get up, stretch, move around, take your meds if you need to take your meds, because these meat sacks we're driving around don't come with maintenance manuals, but by George, do they need a lot of maintenance. You guys are amazing. I love you all. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you all again very soon.